This butter rum pound cake is certainly a showstopper both inside and out. Its gentle rum flavor is so unique and it will impress one and all. Don't be tempted to add anything extra because the sweet icing really balances out the gentle flavor of the actual cake. A great thing about this cake is that it freezes well for up to 3 months. Next, I will show you a step-by-step process on how to make this beautiful creation. First, add 1 cup of softened, unsalted butter to a mixing bowl and 1 cup of granulated sugar. Check this out. I incorrectly attached the whisk attachment but had to change it because it wasn't really mixing. Okay, so back on track. Using a paddle attachment, mix well until fully combined. Just a tip, there's no danger to overmixing with this recipe as it requires a lot of mixing. It's best to use a mixing machine of some sort. Be sure to scrape the sides of the bowl during the mixing process to ensure all the ingredients are incorporated. See how much better the paddle attachment works? Then add 4 eggs, one at a time, beating your mixture between each addition, then mix again. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Make sure to subscribe and click on that notification bell. I post new recipes every week. Also, go ahead and preheat the oven to 275 degrees Fahrenheit or 135 degrees Celsius. If you're using a steel cake tin, grease and line it. I'm using silicone cake tins today, so you'll see that mine are not lined. Then you're going to add 1 teaspoon of rum extract and 1 teaspoon of butter or butter rum extract and mix that well. Okay, so that's all our wet ingredients done. Now for your dry ingredients. Sift 2 cups or 500 ml of all-purpose flour and add to your batter gradually. All-purpose or cake flour. You can see here I've left the mixture running, but you can also achieve this by stopping the machine and adding a little each time. I also attached the pouring shield to try and minimize the dry ingredients making a big fat mess. I set my mixer to low speed first, and increase the speed as my dry ingredients mixed into the batter. Go ahead and scrape the sides of the bowl as you need to ensure all of the ingredients are incorporated. Lastly, for the cake batter, add 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/4 teaspoon of salt together, then add it to your batter and mix well. Then mix again. Pour your batter into the baking tin and give your tin a great big tap, or 5, to try and release the air bubbles. I also tried to eliminate these air bubbles by swirling the batter around. Bake for 20 minutes, then increase the oven temperature to 325 degrees Fahrenheit or 140 degrees Celsius and bake for another 50 to 60 minutes. And test if the cake is baked by inserting a skewer into the middle of the cake. After removing from the oven, you'll need to let it cool in the pan for 30 minutes and then turn the cake out to cool completely. Then place it in the fridge until you're ready to ice the cake. While the cake is cooling, let's make the glaze and the buttercream. For the rum glaze, sift 2 cups of confectioner's sugar or icing sugar and mix that with 3 tablespoons of rum. I used Bacardi rum. I added a little bit more to get a runnier glaze. If you're doubling your ingredients for a huge cake, I used 3 cups of icing sugar with 1/4 cup of rum. Mix that well and check that you have a paste consistency. You can always correct it by adding more liquid or more sugar. If you're not keen to use alcohol, you can also mix rum essence with water as well. To make the buttercream, I used Rosie's Sweet Spot recipe. I've added the link to her recipe in the description box as well. So to make her buttercream, add 500 grams of unsalted butter and 900 grams of sifted icing sugar and then add the flavouring, which is rum extract, and about 2 or 3 tablespoons of milk, depending on how thick you would like your buttercream. So we're just going to ice the cake now with the buttercream. You don't have to be fussy here because this layer is not really going to show. I'm just using the buttercream as a bonding agent for the cake, the glaze and the decorations. I then placed it in the fridge for half an hour to set. Next, apply the glaze first at the top of the cake and then move the glaze to the edges so it can run down the sides. Then using a spatula, spread the glaze as it runs down the sides. Then just smooth the glaze as best as you can, and if you run out of glaze, just make more. I quickly made a little piping bag using baking paper. I just made a triangle and secured it with tape and then snipped off the open end. To make the decorations, I melted 1 cup of chocolate over boiling water. You can also do this by popping the chocolate into the microwave and then stirring it every 30 seconds until it's fully melted. I did need another cup later, so I just melted another cup of chocolate. Decorating with chocolate can be really messy, so to help with cleanup, I placed some baking paper on my countertop. Now we need to measure the circumference of your cake so that you can make a template using baking paper, and you want to make your template fit the entire cake. Then place your template down onto your surface and make sure it's secure. Go ahead and add the hot chocolate to your piping bag, and as you can see here, I just made a row of squiggles by just writing in a cursive motion. I also wrote out happy birthday for the birthday boy, but he thought that he was too old to have his name written on the cake, so we didn't end up using that. Let your chocolate dry and loosen any singular decorations you may have. Also, clean up any mistakes you have made while making your design. Now remove the cake from the fridge, and here you can see I brushed water all along the sides. The glaze would have set and I needed to be sticky again. Then position your template around the cake, pressing it in with your fingers so your decorations can stick to the cake. If some of the decorations don't stick, it's quite alright. Just brush with water or a little glaze and stick it on individually. As you can see here, I had quite a few that didn't stick, but I made it work. Thank you so much for watching, guys. This cake was not easy to make, I'll be honest, but I do love how it turned out. As a reward for all my effort, please do like my video and subscribe to my channel for many more recipes to come. See ya!